Hello, everybody. This is MoveEasy Yoga with Via, and it is January 16th, 2021. We're going to start the class in the regular fashion, just lying on your back, supine, watching your breath. Just bringing your whole body and your mind and your spirit into the room, into the class. I forgot to ask you to all to mute yourselves, but it looks like almost everybody is muted. I love my body and my body loves me. I take care of my body and my body takes care of me. Take one more breath. And then bring your hands behind your head. Stack your hands or interlace your fingers for vagus nerve reset. Don't move anything from here on out except your eyeballs. And just shift your eyeballs to the right and wait for a yawn, sigh, swallow, or gulp. Come on back. Go to the other side. Shift your eyeballs to the left. Wait for a yawn, sigh, swallow, or gulp. Come on back to center and repeat 2 more times. Right, left, right, left. Now, when you're finished, come on back to center. Leave your hands where they are. We're going to do head ramping. Just pressing the base of the back of your skull at the occipital ridge. Press that area into your hands and then to the floor. The chin will drop a little bit. And just stay here for a couple breaths and then release. And repeat a couple more times. And if you want to, you can add, after you've pressed back, you can add a retraction of the scapula. So ramp, head ramping, then a scapula retraction. And keep breathing, being aware of what you're doing. Go ahead and finish up and then put one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. up by your throat. We're just going to do a complete breath, complete yoga breath. Inhale, feeling the rise of the belly first, and then the rib cage, and then the chest, or the right near the throat, clavicle. And then on an exhale, reverse the direction and release air from the throat, the rib cage, then the belly. And keep going, just a complete breath. Your hands, hopefully your hands help monitor the breath. Remember to start at the and on the way up, and start at the throat on the way down. So it's an exact. So complete breath. One hand on your belly and one hand on your throat. And then remembering the three abodes of breath: the belly, the chest, the belly, the rib cage, actually the chest. Or some people would say belly, belly, throat, belly, chest, throat. And finish up. And come on to your hands and knees for a proning hypopressive, unless you hate that position, and then stay on your back and do the classic basic hypopressive. You're on your hands and knees. I like this because it allows you to, it's a COVID hypopressive, allows you to breathe into the back of your lungs. Hips are high, the head is on the floor or on a blanket. The arms are in a triangle, elbows wide, fingers interlaced. We're going to do 3 breaths. We're going to do this twice, by the way, the 2 sets. 3 breaths, and then hold the breath out for 14 counts. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All the way out. And now no breath. Hold the breath out. You should feel a scoop in the belly here. It just happens naturally. 1, 2, 3, 4, no breath. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Go ahead and just relax and release, and then we'll start all over again. You can wiggle your fingers if you want. Anything that needs wiggling, wiggle now. And then come back to your position. Be it supine or prone or quadruped. And 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. All the way out. Hold your breath out. No breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And let go of all of that. You can come back into a child's pose and just relax the hips and the shoulders. Knees wide or a little narrower, your choice. And just relax your arms. We're going to do the hip mobility drill that we did last week. Just so that it's a review. So whenever you're ready, come up onto your hands and knees. And then, so the first thing you're going to do, let's do the pre-test, sorry. Come into a floor-seated Z pose or shin box. Some people call this the shin box pose. Okay, so here you are, you're in that pose. And now flip from side to side. So flip, this could be very slow for you, for people, slower than Kathy. And you may have to help on one side or the other. And just flip from one side to the other and see how that is and whether you can do that or whether you can do some of that. And then the next thing I want you to do for a pre-test is a squat. So find any kind of squat. You'll want to stand up to start. You may want to have it be near a chair or a shelf or a pole that's fixed or a strap. And then just come on down and see how that is for you. How far down can you get? How comfortable is it? Low, low, low. And just a couple more breaths here. And then now come onto your hands and knees for the hip mobility. So that was the pre-test. We're going to do a post-test too to see if there's any tangible changes that you can notice after this drill. So bring your right leg behind you and then drop your left hip. So you're dropping the trochanter out to the side and stay there and see if you can find a stretch here because you dropped your hip. And now just move your body up, your whole body out forward. Okay, mostly forward, I think. Forward and then return, but you don't need to move the leg back. So keep your leg steady and still, and then just move the hips. Maybe it's a little harder than I described it, but you're just moving the torso backward and forward. And now drop left and right. So you're pushing backward and forward. You're dropping your shoulder to one side, the shoulder to the hip and from the hip. And if you can find a circle or a diagonal here, do that. So remember, you're working on the left side of the hip now. So don't do anything particularly on the other side unless you can feel it on this side. You're trying to just create spaces in your hip socket by using this shape. And then go ahead and repeat on the other side. Extend the left leg, drop the right hip, and then you're going to come forward, take your torso, your upper body forward and back and return and forward. And then you're going to dip to the right, dip your shoulders to the right and to the left. But still working on this side. So try to work on this side of this left side of your hip. That's what you're trying to really carve in some space there by moving the rest of your body. And then if you can find some diagonals or circles, do that too. So this is going to look, for each of us, going to look very different, whereas we explore and find places. If you find a place that is really achy breaky, you might want to stay there and do little back and forth, little side to side. It's not that different than the therapy balls. You're using your hip socket like a therapy ball. Now, repeat, this time, go to the other leg again, but this time, take your, let's see, take your foot out to the side. Your knee is still underneath your hip, but your foot's out to the side. It's an internally rotated position. Drop, so let's see, and drop the hip as well again, and then come forward with the torso. And then side to side, you can do shoulders side to side. Or torsos, find a way to move the torso that impacts the hip. And if you find a place that's specifically tight, then just stay there and do some reps. Back and forth, side to side. Switch sides and do the other side. So this time, remember you're putting your foot out to the side, so it's an internal rotation.
Isn't that an external rotation?
Is it? Just a minute, wait a minute. Let me think about this. No, it's internal. And the next one we'll do is external.
Right, okay.
So hopefully you're finding your own personal, discovery about the way your hip moves. You finish that, the next thing you're going to do is switch sides again. And this time you bring your foot to the inside, like almost like a pigeon pose, if anyone knows this pose. And then drop your hip. And then try to go forward and back with your torso. But drop the hip first. So this is, let me see something. This is an external rotation. Yeah.
Yeah, I was confused. Doesn't take much.
Oh. So if you find a place that's particularly achy breaky, try to work right there. Stay there, unless it's too painful. Stay there. Back and forth, side to side. Circles or diagonals, if you can find them. Leave it up to you. And then when you're finished, switch. We haven't switched sides yet, have we? No. Bring your foot in front of the other leg. If it's hard to do, you might try dropping your back knee and trapping the front foot with your knee. Like that, something like that, yeah. See if that works better or not. So the first thing you want to do is move your torso back and forth. Move it forward and then move it back. And then the side to side and if this hurts your hands and wrists, please put a mobility strip or some towels underneath, or come onto your elbows, or work on your fists. So those are all alternatives if your wrists hurt during this pose or any other pose actually that involves the wrists. So you can be up, you could be on your elbows, you could be on your fists, you could be have a cushion underneath your hands. I think that's probably enough of this. Let's do the test. That's more than enough, maybe. Okay. The test is, remember, to get into this easy Z position, and then flip your legs back and forth. There's a little of scrambling. See how Kathy actually moves her feet as well as her knees.
I don't have to, but
I think you almost have to do that to get to find some space, to create a new space. So see if think about it. Is this easier than it was before? That's your question. And now go ahead and come up into some sort of a squat. It can be supported, it can be hanging off a pole. I wish everybody had poles in their house.
Mm.
Well, you know, poles like a pole dancer pole. Okay. Anyway, find your squat and see if this is a little easier. Is this a little easier given what I just did with my hips to create more spaces, more spaciousness actually in the hip socket? You have a report for us, Kathy?
I think it makes it easier, even though I don't have a lot of trouble. I can tell there's a difference.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to find your favorite floor seated position, and probably a cross-legged position. It could be knees bent underneath you. Could be, anyway, we're going to do, there's several possibilities, but Kathy's going to cross leg, and then we're going to do a side bend. So take your right hand out to the side, all the way out, and then the opposite hand up and over. I'm gonna oops. Go ahead and take your top elbow forward to create a little more stretch on the latissimus dorsi. And then go ahead and stop. Come back up slowly in 2 bits, actually. Elbow first, then torso. Now the other side, left arm. All the way down. Opposite arm up and over. Except for me, I can't do that yet, but I'll get there.
Someday soon.
Someday soon. And I will definitely tell you when. Lots of things are changing, actually.
Good. For the better.
Bring your elbow forward. I mean, once I got the sling off, it almost exercises itself, doesn't it? Because, you know, you pick up a glass of water and then you've exercised your arm. Go ahead and come back up, elbow first. And now torso. Let's do a spine twist starting on the right. So left arm goes over and touches the right knee, and then the right arm comes behind you, spider fingers. Make a rotate your chest as far as you can to the right, chest and your thoracic spine. And when you get there, give yourself the gift of shifting your rib cage from side to side. And come on back, all the way back, unravel, other side. Create a spine twist to the left. Go as far as you can. Maintain the spine twist, and then slide your rib cage a little bit to the left and to the right without involving your trapezius, the upper trapezius. So keep it in the rib cage. And slowly come on back. And let's find a chair so we can do the get up series. So this is a pretty cool class in a way, because you should make note of it actually for repeat, because you have both the hip mobility and the get ups. So it's really good for hips and for getting up, actually. So from here, this is the basic supported, assisted get up. You're on your hands and knees. You come onto your hands and knees from wherever you are on the floor. And then you have something in front of you, a chair or something. Put one hand on it. You're facing it. And then the opposite knee, keep facing the chair. The opposite knee brings you up, and so does your hand. Let's do it on the other side now. So you're down on the floor in some fashion. You get up on your hands and knees. One hand goes on the chair. The opposite knee comes forward. And now you use that front knee and leg and hand to bring yourself up. That's the first one. Second one is, let's do a deep squat again. We're just going to do it for a couple minutes. We'll find a deep squat. It can be supported with a brick, or you could be even holding onto a chair. And let's just do this for 30 seconds. But if you have trouble getting up, if you have trouble with your hips, if you can get to this position. Now, if your heels are high, you'll want to put something under them, a blanket, rolled up blanket, towel, mobility strip. Okay. Now we're going to be, going to do forward and backward lunges. So the backward lunge, the reverse lunge, is from a chair with the back of your chair in front of you. And you're going to hold on to the chair, just lightly though. And then take your right, you're going to have to, so make sure you have a big enough step back so that you can find your front knee in a 90-degree angle. So it's back, drop. So, and then come back up. So reverse it and alternate. Come all the way up to standing so that you're practicing good posture too. And it also mimics getting up, by the way. So now come back down, other leg. You don't have to hit your knee on the floor, although you can. You can touch the floor or just almost touch the floor. Come back up with your abdominals and your quads, the muscles on the front of the thigh.
And which were, by the way, sore last time.
Were they? Well, this is something we should do more of then.
I've been practicing, yeah.
And do one more set. And now you can put your hand on the wall to do the forward ones, I think, just as easily as, but sideways on the wall. So your right shoulder is on the wall,
Oh, okay.
and then you just take your left knee. Let's see, you take it forward, left leg forward, and then drop. And see if you can get a 90-degree angle at both knees, coming up and coming down. So the front knee stays above the ankle. And actually, I think what I'm going to have you do on these forward ones is stay on one side, because I want you supporting yourself on the other side. So when your right shoulder is on the near the wall, you're forward lunging with the left leg. But remember to touch the wall, because you don't need to. You can eventually do this without a wall. Maybe. Do it a couple more times, and then you'll switch sides and do the other side. Last one. Switch the shoulders now. The shoulder is, so do you have a wall?
Yeah, I have one right here I'm holding on to.
Okay. All right. Forward, bend, down you go, up you come. Try to keep your spine straight if you can. And two more of those. Good. Have you done both sides? You were alternating? Okay. Now let's do a side bend at the wall, back bend at the wall. So have your back against the wall.
Hold on, I have to unplug.
Okay. Back to the wall. Stand in good posture. Bring your arms up and over your head. Touch the wall with your fingers or with your palms, and the heel of your palms. And I'm going to time you for 40 seconds so you can build some bone density, better bone health in the upper back. Basically, a very important place to build it, maintain it or build it. Come on down. We're going to do a spine twist, starting with the right shoulder against the wall and the right leg forward, left leg behind. Bend your elbows and then rotate all the way around for your spinal rotation. Hips stay forward. And just breathe here and enjoy this really nice, well, twists and back bends are so good for you. You could just do these three, the left and right spine twist and the back bend at the wall, and have that be your yoga practice for a day. unravel. Do the other side, the left shoulder at the wall, left leg forward, right leg back. Just rotate the spine, keep the hips forward. That's the twist. Stand up tall if you can. Feel length in your spine as well as twist. Unwind. And we're going to do some balancing on one foot. So find a chair for that, or it could be a wall, something that won't fall over on you if you use it for stability, if you need to use it for stability. And then I'm going to time you. Just stand with your feet parallel forward, good posture. Lift your right knee up and bend it in front of you. I'm going to time this for 40 minutes. This is also a bone building pose, but it focuses on building bone in the at the hip socket, at the head of the femur, and in this acetabulum, which is the name of the hip socket.
40 minutes? You said 40 minutes.
I meant 40 seconds.
No, I know.
I'm glad you pointed that out, though, because someone might have thought they had to stay there. Switch sides. Lift your left knee up. Remember, if it's difficult to lift it up, you could put it behind you. You could bend your knee, or you can tuck your foot around your heel, or you could just bend your knee backwards instead of taking the knee forward. In all kinds of balancing works. You can look at a spot across the room from you, a spot that's stable to help you keep stable. But having your arms move is not a bad thing. And come on back. This time we're going to do short foot. We're going to do split stance short foot. So this is a balancing pose in some way. So you need something in front of you or beside you in case. It's a just in case kind of a deal. So standing in good posture with your feet parallel, step your right foot forward. Now you're in a split stance. So right foot, lift the toes up, grab your abdominals at the lowest you can get them, drop your toes, pressing the toe pads into the floor. And then while you're here, breathing and noticing your abdominals, and then noticing the medial arch underneath your foot. And then just switching your focus back and forth from between those 2 points. While you're breathing and while you're pressing the toe pads into the floor, and while you're holding on to your abdominal muscles. All of that, all at once. And just go ahead and release that and come back to the center, and then switch the other foot forward. Split stance, left foot forward. Lift your toes. Before you put your toes down, grab your abdominals. And now drop your toes and Press the toe pads into the floor. And start to focus, move your focus between your abdominals and your toes and your medial arch, actually, medial arch. So think of the arch that you've actually contracted by the toe press. So you should be able to feel the arch a little more. But then move between arch and abs, abs and arch. Arch and abs are abs and arch. And then come on back. Let's go back and repeat. We have a little extra time today, so let's go back and repeat the wall sequence, the back bend at the wall and then the side spine twist at the wall. So stand in front of a wall with your back to the wall in good posture, and then bring your arms up and over onto the wall, overhead. Basically, this is kind of an overhead arm movement. And the trick is, and I'm going to time you, the trick is to be sure and keep your hips positioned over your ankles and your knees. And just stay here and breathe. We're timing this, bone building, extra bone building. I said this could be a practice. You know, it could be the only practice you had all day sometimes. But doing it twice would be nice also, which is what we're doing today. Unravel from that. We'll do a side bend, starting with the right shoulder at the wall, right foot forward, left foot behind you. Bend your arms and rotate your thoracic spine towards the wall. Find a great spine twist, upper body spine twist. Keep your hips facing forward and breathe. So become aware of where you're creating basically a stretch, a load, and a bone building exercise. Where is that happening? It's happening at the thoracic spine, T1 through 12. That's what's twisting. And come all the way back and come all the way to the other side. Left shoulder on the wall, left foot forward, right foot behind you. Bend your arms, bring and rotate towards the wall. Let the wall help you create and maintain and increase your spine twist. Stay here and breathe. And come all the way out of that. And let's come down onto the floor, prone. We're going to actually start with the child's pose because we've done a lot of standing up, which is actually more demanding in some ways than supine or prone. Start with the child's pose. If you'd like, here's the therapy balls that you might use. You could put therapy balls at the knee crease to release the calves. And just take your hips back. You might want to sit on a brick between your legs. You might want to put a rolled up towel or blanket or pillow underneath your chest. While you're here, breathe into the back of your lungs, the base, bottom of your lungs. And while you're here, I'm going to tell you something I was meant to tell you before. I came across this electrical device that actually is a vagus nerve stimulator that's being used in COVID units. So apparently, this inability to breathe that COVID patients can sometimes get, is somehow related to the vagus nerve, and this instrument is being used to stimulate the vagus nerve and turn off something that's being created chemically in the body that's creating respiratory issues. So if anyone's interested in this, I'll send you the article. I thought it was pretty exciting actually to realize that the vagus nerve might be related to some of the breathing, that you could have people do that, like our vagus nerve reset. You guys should be good coaches for anyone you know that has COVID, who would be willing to listen to you. Okay, let's go ahead and do the Pilates back extension. Coming onto your belly. Your hands at your side, and now take an inhale to prepare and an exhale to lift your chest, your arms, your head, and stay here and breathe and hold. You may even want to come up a little higher on your chest. Back extension. Building bone density, I forgot to time this, but building bone density here. Come on down, everybody. Inhale and then exhale. And you're building bone density, and in this particular pose, you're also building muscles along the side of the spine, which is also important. Bone building reverses or prevents osteoporosis, but strong spinal extensors actually also help reduce the risk of falling. Come on up, inhale to prepare and exhale to come on up. We're going to go into airplane in a minute. Inhale to prepare to come into airplane and exhale to come on in. Now I am going to time this. 40 seconds. Stay if you can. Stay as long as that if you can. You may want to come up a little bit, just lift your chest a little bit higher sometime during the 40 seconds. If any of you have sensitive pubic bone on these prone poses, you'll want to put something underneath your pubic bone, a towel or some sort of a cushion. Go ahead and inhale to prepare and then exhale to come on down. Let's do it one more time. Airplane, one more time. Take an inhale to prepare and an exhale to come on up. And then inhale to prepare for airplane and exhale to come into airplane. Staying here as long as you can. I'm going to time for 40 seconds. You don't have to stay here that long. You could come down and come back up. If you're here and you're comfortable, you may want to try to come up a little higher. We have 20 seconds left, half time. And inhale. And exhale, come on down. Take some breaths into the back of the lower lobes of the lungs that are available to you because you're prone. And then bring your arms out into an airplane shape. And look to the right. Bring your right leg up and over behind the left leg. Keep your armpits, your arms, your shoulders on the floor. Wiggle your hips. You can wiggle your legs. You can wiggle your toes. You can do anything you want with the bottom half of your body, lower half, as long as you keep the chest on the floor, glued to the floor. Come on back. Switch sides, look left. Left leg up and over the right leg. Make sure your arms, armpits are on the floor. And just breathe and think of what's happening here. Actually, the interesting thing is that you're moving your hips to release the upper back. And come all the way back. Come back into just a child's pose for just a minute or two before we go into our Yoga Nidra. Just resting and breathing and making sure that you're consciously breathing into the bottom of your lungs at the lowest lobe. Of course, now it's up above your armpits, kind of, or a little below that. But the reason I'm having you do this is because COVID. Let's keep our lungs healthy. We have a shot at this even if we test positive. Probably vagus nerve breath wouldn't hurt either. Vagus nerve reset. Take one more big breath. And then find your way onto your back for Yoga Nidra meditation. Remember, you want to be comfortable. You want to feel comfortable, safe, and warm. You can lie with your legs extended, with your knees bent, or with your knees bent on a chair or the couch. You can cover yourself with a blanket. You can cover your eyes with a washcloth. So find a comfortable, warm, safe position and listen to me lead you through a guided meditation that works deeply on your nervous system. Starting with an awareness of the breath, breathing in and out, and observing the abdomen as it rises and falls. Now bring your attention and your awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This completes your 61-point guided meditation. You can start to bring your attention back to the bit room, the whole room. Wiggling your fingers and your toes and circling your wrists and your ankles. Bring your arms overhead and extend your legs out in front of you and create some space between your pelvis and your rib cage. Wiggle, wiggle, right, left, right. Breathing, wiggling, stretching like a cat. Hug your right knee to your chest. Hug your left knee to your chest. Both knees hugged, rocking from side to side, opening the hips and releasing the lower back. And then whenever you're ready, just roll onto your side, into a fetal position, using your bottom arm as a pillow, putting your palm down, pressing it into the floor so you can bring yourself up to seated without rounding your lower back. Unmute yourself. And we'll close the class. I'm going to put myself on gallery so I can see everybody. Oops, I forgot to undo my picture. Okay. Go ahead and bring your hands to your heart. Press strongly. Press the hands together strongly. Feel the upper back and the scapula and get involved. And then go ahead and relax the prayer pose. And lift your head up. So lift the back of the skull up away from your shoulders so that you can roll the skull over the top of C1 cervical spine vertebra. Rolling, nodding, bowing, acknowledging and honoring the light in each of us, and knowing that we're all. Let's close the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank you. You too.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's